Ladies and gentlemen, we're heading into the Monday Night Football Countdown show. In addition, in conjunction with talking about the week number 12 players that are in the news right now, injured. We're going to cover all this real quickly, then get right to your super chats and phone calls as it relates to the week 11 Monday Night Football closeout game. And then we jump right into phone calls. So let's get into it right now. First and foremost, we got to talk about JJ. JJ, his coach, speaking as if he's probably going to miss week number 12. Adam Schefter. We went over this early on another live stream, so I'll be real quick with this information. I want to give everybody the skinny that missed that live stream. More and more, it sounds like the most logical return date for JJ is after the week 13 bye week, which is what we've been preaching for the last, 10 to 14 days, that there's a strong likelihood, a lot of people not talking about, a strong likelihood that bye week in week 13 is placed in such a way that JJ sits week 11, which he did, sits week 12, which is this upcoming week, and then sits out the bye week to have extra time to get healthy and heal up. And that seems like that's what's going to happen. So that's a very unfortunate turn of events for anybody that has Justin Jefferson. But the writing was kind of on the wall that this was coming out, down that way. Now, this is a fortunate but also unfortunate that, he got injured. But fortunate, I think, piece of news today in regards to what kind of high ankle, low ankle, what kind of ankle sprain Cooper Kupp had. If he had a high ankle, he'd be out 4 to 6 weeks. He'd be out for the season. If it was a severe high ankle, but it was a low, like mid to low ankle sprain. There is some thought that he could potentially play this week, but it sounds like, to me, based on what I'm hearing, there's a strong chance he sits like 1 week and they play it by ear. But certainly possible that he could suit up. It just depends on the severity of the ankle injury. It doesn't matter, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. Those are very important things to know. They can definitely determine whether a player is going to be missing a chunk of time or not. But on a grade 1 or low ankle sprain, there are still severity ranges in there. It could be a very mild, it just hurt at the moment. He's older, so it kind of hit him really hard at the moment. His swelling subsided, and they've got all kinds of ways to knock that swelling down, injections, things like that, and just a lot of time. So time off might put him in a position where he can suit up. So we'll have to play it by ear on Cooper Kupp. But it does feel like he avoided potentially some sort of 3, 4, 5 week injury, but he's older. Maybe it takes him out for 2 or 3 weeks. We just don't know. Kenneth Walker, not good news on Kenny Walker, although, it could be worse, I suppose. But Kenny Walker, on this particular news, Pete Carroll saying that his oblique is not considered a injured reserve 4 game type of situation. They're not going to put him on IR and force him to miss 4 games, but that doesn't mean he can't miss 3 or borderline 4 games, and they decide to put him on IR a week and a half from now. That's happened before to a lot of players this season. So obviously we're going to be a little bit worried and skeptical about Walker's return, and Charbonnet is an absolute must start. His schedule's pretty brutal. That's what we feared with Kenny Walker, and this is why on this show for the last handful of weeks we've been quietly trying to go get ice in a very polite way, because we love Kenneth Walker, and I'm not selling him or would have sold him for dirt cheap, but he was a player that was kind of time to gently shop just to see what you could get, see if you could get into a safer option. Hopefully you've got Charbonnet. If you've got Charbonnet, you're probably covered, but Kenny Walker definitely, with the injury risk, he's been suffering with multiple injuries, now another injury, different injury. It's not like it's even the same injury. And he's got a workload problem. He's got his snap share dwindling down to about 40-something%. He's not even at 50% right now. This certainly could potentially come back in a positive direction. Absolutely. We love Kenny Walker, but this is certainly not going in the direction that Kenny Walker owners wanted this to go. But hopefully you have Charbonnet. In a sense, it's good to have, I hate to say this, it's good to have one in there, not both of them. So, if Kenny's going to play at less than 100%, I want him out for 2-3 weeks so that Charbonnet can be 100% and get an absolute, best production he can get in a very, very tough schedule upcoming. Devon Achane, a lot of haters out. We're going to let him hate. Doesn't matter. Again, if anybody's wondering why the hate is so strong, it really just comes down to trying to prove that missing out on him wasn't as bad as it looks. But it is. because this guy's an absolute monster. He's a league winner. He's a top 5 running back when he's on the football field. And granted, he went out there, played one snap, got injured again, and everybody's clowning on him, saying that, he's brittle. He had his leg landed on. Any one of us were to go out there and have a suplex done on our knee, we would have sat out too. The fact is that he doesn't look that bad. He pretty much begged to go back into the game, and Miami Coach Mike McDaniel said, I don't want you going in. I want to play it safe 1 week. Very good chance he plays week 12. That's great news. Could he sit? Sure. So we got to play it by ear. Could he be limited to some degree during the game as they try and ease him back? Maybe. But honestly, he wanted to go back into that game. They need to win games. They need to continue to be hungry. I don't think this is let's play it safe. This is football. They're going to run him out. If he feels healthy enough, I think they're going to throw him out and he's going to do good things. I know everybody's either in panic mode or in hatred mode on this guy, Devon Achane. But let me remind you, he's the number 1 running back in the National Football League in 20-plus yard runs, and he's the number 1 running back in the National Football League in 40-plus yard runs. And he hasn't even been on the field that long. So hate him all you want. It's fine. It's fine, but it's just an inward regret that someone's suffering from. If anybody says he's trash, I told you about him, you know that they're just regretful that they didn't pick him up. That's all it is. It's regret. It's regret. It's very easy to see coming. The reason you see it's easy to see coming is you don't see regret anywhere else. If someone else gets hurt, you don't see, I told you guys. You don't see it. It's only with Devon Achane. And it's only Devon Achane, non-Devon Achane owners. You'll never see a Devon Achane owner come in here and go, he's not playing. It's people that didn't pick him up, and it's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. Devon Achane, very strong chance of playing. And Aaron Jones, probably out at least a week. He did avoid what appears to be any sort of season-ending or long-term injury, but I wouldn't be shocked at his age. Running backs in that territory of fall off, 28 years of age, right around there. It's the new 32. You're 28, you're really 32 from a running back year perspective, like dog years. It's just different. It's just a different time for RBs. And Aaron Jones is an older player. Cooper Kupp, older player. They're going to take more time to recover and get healthy. So JJ, not looking good to return before the bye week, which is not this week, it's next week. So literally you won't be able to use them probably, unless something turns around real quickly. You won't be able to use them until week 14. We're entering week 12. And you're not going to be able to use JJ probably until week 14. And who knows how ramped up he'll be. I imagine it'll be pretty close because he'll have the whole bye week to get ready, but who the hell knows what's going to happen. That's all the news that we talked about. Zach Wilson was benched, and that's good news, hopefully. Mike Thomas is dealing with a knee injury, and that's going to take a while for him to recover. That's the Kenneth Walker news. This right here is the O'Connell news, talking about that Jefferson is questionable, and also acknowledge that we have to do the smart thing about bringing him back. Knowing the Vikings have their bye week following the week this week gives them a free week to add to his 21-day window. So there's a lot of thinking that this is, like I said earlier, a smart move to sit him out one more week, then use that bye week just to make sure they don't have a setback. This right here is Jaylen Warren. We had a couple people in the chat. I don't know if they're trying to say that Jaylen Warren's schedule was rough or it was nasty in a good way, but we had, I think it was Pix who was in here saying that, Smitty, check his schedule. It's nasty. Check his schedule. It's insane. I'm hoping he means in a positive way, because his schedule is absolutely glorious going into the remaining part of the season. He's got Cincinnati, Arizona, New England, then Indy, Cincinnati, Seattle. So Jaylen Warren has the potential to be a monster, but a couple of people kept saying his schedule is great. I don't know if that's what you were meaning, but his schedule is great. He's a fantastic go-get player. The question that was posed earlier was Bijan or Jaylen Warren or Bijan. And who was the other running back that was in the mix for that? It was Breece Hall. I would love to know what you guys rank pecking order-wise for Breece Hall, Jaylen Warren, and Bijan Robinson. I think Bijan's probably the guy I rank one, but quietly want to put Warren right there. And Warren I put 2 until Breece Hall's situation proves to be much improved. But Jaylen Warren is a win-a-league player. This is a guy we talked about every freaking waiver wire show, from the 2 preemptive waiver wire shows into every single waiver wire show leading up to this very moment in time. This right here, Tank Dell, we talked about this earlier. Tank Dell, the NFL had to actually issue an NFL transaction wire that said, please start using Tank Dell instead of Nathaniel Dell, because he wants to go by Tank, and I don't blame him one single bit. I really don't. If he wants to go by Moon Man, we're going to call him Moon Man. If he wants to go by Senior Tanky, Senior Tank Monster, we're calling him the Tank Monster. Whatever he wants, he gets. So the NFL did the right thing there. What is this right here? This is we didn't talk about this earlier. Mark Andrews has an outside chance to return this season from his ankle injury. And then there was this report. I don't know if this was let's see, that's not the one. Let me see if this is the report. No, that's the O'Connell report. I think it basically, this right here says it wasn't as bad as initially feared on the MRI. We'll know more. We'll have to see how it goes. There is some optimism, Coach Harbaugh said. But let's keep in mind that his optimism for returning might be in the NFL postseason, not the NFL regular season, the fantasy football playoffs. It would be the NFL playoffs. I think it's highly unlikely that he would be back in time. It's possible maybe the last week or something like that. It's certainly possible, but for the most part, this news is more for the NFL playoffs, I think. But we'll keep tabs on that if it starts feeling like he could come back a little sooner than we think, like week 17, maybe week 16. I highly doubt it, but it looks like the MRI results came back. That's a very positive piece of news for Baltimore Raven fans everywhere. That is all the news right now. We've got a couple super chats in the docket. I think Joe dropped the first super chat of the evening. Joe? Got a little delay on everything today. I don't know if it's the internet connection or what, but it's lagging. Joe, who do you like long-term, Ridley or Kirk? I like Ridley. I've liked Ridley all season. That's never wavered, even when Kirk's been beating him out, bro. Every single week that he's scored more, I still am standing by Ridley, because Ridley's that ride and die player. The moment you sit him, he's going to go nuts. You have to start him all 17 or all 16 weeks. You can't sit him. You can't, because, again, it's like changing lanes on the freeway. Your lane's going slow, you change into the faster lane, and all of a sudden that lane comes to a crawl. And then the lane you were in starts going faster. Ridley is 100% the worst player to try and chase the points with. Start him when you think he's going to do well, bench him when you think he's going to do bad. That's not the way to use Ridley. You shouldn't have drafted Ridley if you can't endure the lows and highs. That's just the nature of a deep threat player that has low conversion rate targets. Because if they don't connect, he gets like 30 yards, 20 yards, 10 yards, whatever. If they connect, he gets 120 and 2 touchdowns, which is what we freaking saw him do in week number freaking 11. Ridley feels back. T-Law feels back. They seem to be selling the Trevor Lawrence milk, the main milk, at the grocery stores again, it seems.
Law Dog Milk for Maines on sale this season. Soak your mane and win a league. Law Dog Milk.
So get your milk now before it's too late. Law Dog Milk does appear to be back on sale, ladies and gentlemen. It's fantastic news. Go get your Law Dog Maine milk now. Let's go ahead and swing back over to the phone lines as we await any more super chats, questions. We'll do it live. Appreciate everybody sitting in here right now. And Piff was the other one, I think. Piff, thank you. Brees for DJ Moore, full PPR. This one's close, bro. I could go back and forth on this one. Part of me wants to say Brees Hall, but with Fields back, DJ Moore might be a tad bit safer at this moment in time. That could certainly flip if you need an RB. The Brees side's fine. I wouldn't send anybody on a lap for wanting that side of this trade. And if you need a wide receiver and you have a surplus of RBs, I can't blame anybody wanting to get on that other side of the trade. Let's do the phone line. Dial into the phone line, brought to you by Christopher Smith, who dropped a $430 super chat. So if anybody wants to knock Christopher Smith off the totem pole, go ahead and drop a 431.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Christopher Smith, appreciate you, my man, my main man. This one right here is from Joe. Again, Smitty, if they're hating, that only means you must be doing something right. And look, I don't want anybody to think I feel like people are hating on me in some way. I'm saying the people hating on Achane. Like, you're always going to have haters in this world. But I'm not even thinking of that. I'm thinking about the Achane hate. The hate for Achane is out of control. Keep doing what you're doing. The best real talk around. Bunch of Achane haters. It's crazy, bro. It's absolutely insane. And it's just regret. That's all it is. Every piece of Achane hate. If you're going to doubt him, that's one thing. But any Achane hate is laced in regret. Absolutely pure regret. Proof. They need proof they didn't mess up. Imagine not seeing Achane coming and not seeing a top 5 run. That's got to feel really bad. That's got to make you just want to crawl into a hole. And that's why they're so aggressive with it. It's like I wouldn't be calling anybody out on being ashamed of their lack of seeing Achane coming. But to just sit there and try and rip on this knee injury as if, it's like coming out and saying, oh yeah, JJ, look, this Achane character is an absolute gem, and he's absolutely phenomenal, and he's got the most 20-plus yard runs and 40-plus yards in the National Football League runs. You don't just trip and fall into that. You especially don't trip and fall into that with a limited usage. People can get mad all they want. I so hope Achane comes. I want to do a live stream celebration on Achane so badly, you don't even know it. That's the only thing. The moment he scores a touchdown, I might come right back into the studio and just do it live right there instead of waiting till the end of the game. I can't wait for Achane to explode and make all these haters just vanish. They won't come back. What are they going to say? What are they going to say? We're going to come back, look for them. They won't be anywhere in sight. Nowhere in sight. Absolutely nowhere in sight. Joe, down 6, need Butker tonight. Do it live. I think 6, he can get 6. AC says, crazy to cheer for another man's downfall. It's weird though, bro. It's weird. Like, is anybody else cheering? Like, is anybody cheering for the downfall of Cooper Kupp? No. Is anybody in here going, ah? There are some people that say he's old, he's brittle, he's done, he's cooked. And I get that, and that I understand. But the hate for Achane's different. It's driven and laced in regret. That's all it is. It's justification of not missing it. That's what it is. All right, call into the phone lines here. Achane will have 2 TDs. I hope so, Matt. I hope so. I hope so, bro. Dial in. Phone lines open. We got some time before this game kicks off. We'll be back to do a wrap-up show of the game. Hopefully there's a lot going on in this game, too. This is 917 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
From Brooklyn.
CJ?
DJ.
Pam or Pan?
Don.
DJ, okay. DJ from Brooklyn. All right, DJ, what can I do for you?
I was curious. I got the lifetime membership, for your website, so appreciate that support, and you love what you do. Curious if you have any Monday night player prop picks tonight.
Hey, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that live, bro. Thank you for reminding me, guys. Under
like 20 minutes.
Yeah, Underdog Fantasy.
Like anybody, so.
Yeah. Let's do it now. Let's plug in Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. They'll double your first deposit up to $100. So anybody that drops promo code Smitty or clicks the link in the live chat that I'm going to drop in just 1 second. Let me get on over to the app real quick, bro. Hold on a second, and I'll tell you what I would do right now. Now I'm going to give you a couple of what I feel like are more locks, and then we'll go through a whole 5, which is a lot harder to land. It's not easy to land 5 picks on one pick'em, but here's what I would do so far. Let me just put it on screen. So we've got Jalen Hurts. Let me see if it's going to show. Here it is. Okay. So Jalen Hurts. Let's see what they got for him tonight. Rushing attempts, passing yards, fumbles lost. The fumbles lost for both these quarterbacks in this game is kind of intriguing for some weird, odd reason to me. I feel like 81.5 rushing yards and receiving yards under for Swift is kind of appealing, but I'll come back to that one. I hate doing unders, but this one I feel like it's going to be tough sledding for these running attacks. Devonta Smith over 57.5. If I had to pick like one lock, I feel like that might be it, okay? Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. Let me drop the link in the live chat again, and that way everybody can partake in this. Underdog Fantasy, these are phenomenal, these higher lows on Underdog, because especially if you do these scorchers, if you guys see this one right here, I'm going to click off the Devonta Smith 57.5 yards and click on this one. It says 1.5 times. If you pick these scorchers, it injects, an amplification to the amount, the payout. And you can get, instead of $5 getting you 100, if you get all 5 that you pick right, you can actually get it up to, I want to say like 250 or 500 or whatever. Okay, so let's go with the receiving yards. I'll do 2 of these. I'll do a scorcher version and I'll do a non-scorcher version. 57.5 receiving yards, Devonta Smith. Feels like glory to me. A.J. Brown, how many receptions is he averaging the last handful of games? 7, 8, 10. I kind of feel like this 6.5 is kind of doable. 6.5 receptions. I kind of like that. Let's keep going, though, and just kind of check out the rest of this thing. Let's go down on to KC. A scorcher for Mahomes would be a fumble lost. That's interesting. Philly D, KC D. I kind of want to hit both those fumbles for the scorchers later. We'll come back to that. Rushing touchdown for Pacheco. I kind of feel like maybe it'll be tough sledding yardage-wise for him, but a touchdown's pretty likely. I think 48.5 yards for Pacheco on a tough day is also likely. DJ, you like 48.5 yards for Pacheco on the ground, even against the Eagles? I kind of do.
How's the Eagles defense? Like are they at home or on the road?
But this is it, bro. It's a tough matchup. This is in KC. It's a tough matchup, but 48 yards is not. It's not like that's that is him having a tough day. So 66, 40, 30. Well, man, his last 3 games though. Look at this: 66, 40, 32. I mean, he hasn't hit it 2 weeks out of the last 3. So maybe we go with the touchdown. Maybe we go with the tutty. He hasn't had a touchdown.
Does it's rush or
what?
It's rush or receiving.
Yeah, rushing or receiving touchdown. I think I'm going to take that. We'll go with the tutty there. Let's go on down to Travis Kelce. 10 targets, 5. Okay, they're not giving us a whole lot of wiggle room there. 16.05 fantasy points. Kind of feel like he's going to have a big day. I might go with the fantasy points here. Go higher on the fantasy points. And then Rashee Rice, I picture this man having easily 42.5 receiving yards. However, the touchdown is kind of tasty as well. Let's go ahead and hit that. Butker, let's go with 3 extra points. Are we going to see 3 touchdowns in this game, or do we go 1.5 field goals made? Do we go 2 field goals?
I feel like they should give us some touchdowns, because last Monday night game was like the fix was in, so I think they make up for it.
Let's just scroll up and see if we like anything else a little bit better though. Let's see. Let's see. Mahomes, got to be something Mahomes I like. 26.5 rushing yards. It's a tough D, but maybe that's where 24, 20, and 29. Jeez.
Yeah, it's not easy to have that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you have 2 games to go on, you're forcing something, right? Like, part of me wants to just take what we have here, and instead of doing 5, just say, like, if you throw, like, even if you throw, just so everybody can see, $5 on this gets 62.5. Let's throw another one in. I want to win over 100 on this one. Okay, if you do a 5 If you do a fiver, it'll get you 100. And then if you do the multipliers, it increases. I would say, look, DeAndre Swift, his last 3 games, 43, 57, 62, under 59.5 rushing yards against the Chiefs D. What do we do? What about rushing attempts?
I would go over. I think he could do it. He hasn't been going crazy, but he's not really splitting the rock with too much people.
All right. So because we have the one scorcher, this would normally be $5 if you hit them all. $5 if you had to accept that. Devonta Smith 56.5. If we hit them all, you normally get $5 turns into 100. This is going to turn into 125 because we have a 1.25 multiplier in that Pacheco touchdown. So I'm going to go ahead and hit. It won't let me do this. This is I got to remove Pacheco or remove Kelsey.
Smitty, do you ever use the insured option?
I have been lately. Let's go ahead and take the Kelsey one away. And gosh, this is as stupid it's making me. Let's go under the Kenneth Gainwell lower than 25.5. I definitely like that one. So I'm going to hit this one. I'm not going to insure this one. It's $5. And I'm going to go ahead and do it. I added the Kenneth Gainwell under 25. Oh, I got to unplug my phone. I don't know why it does this when I plug into my computer. Let me do this real quick. Yeah, so if I had to pinpoint one that I like, though, for everybody saying give me a nothing's a lock, but my favorite one is probably that Devonta Smith 56.5 is what I'd have to say is my favorite. All right, hey DJ, I gotta roll. I got some super chats waiting for me. I appreciate you calling in and calling again when you have another one.
Thanks, man.
All right, later. Super chat here from Joe, down 6, need Buckner. All right, I got that one already. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you. I got the test with a super chat drop for DeVito, Ritter, Rice, JSN, or Warren. Drop for DeVito or Ritter. Drop one. Oh, drop one. I'm sorry. Drop one. I'm going to drop, I guess, Ritter. I can't stand Ritter. Yeah. And you got to see Warren. Obviously, you got to pick up Warren. Warren's a freaking monster right now. Warren's unbelievable. Should I pawn off Achane while he still has value, or is he a ride or die rest of season? Well, watch this beginning of this video and the beginning of the last video to get my sense of what you should do with Achane, my guy. And this one right here is from Tommy. $5 hauler. Godwin was dropped in my league. Pick him or Reed, Dobbs, London. Probably going to go Godwin, I suppose. I feel like he's got a little bit more trade value, too. Just a tad bit more trade value. 949 caller. Who is this? Where are you calling from?
Thanks, Smitty.
Good. What's your name, bro?
My name's Tony.
Tony, what's up? What can I do for you?
Hey, buddy. Hey, talk to me about this because I traded Monty and Kyron.
I can barely hear you. You're kind of muffled, bro.
I traded Monty and Kyron for Eckler and Garrett Wilson.
Monty and Kyler. Let me write this down. Monty and Kyler. Okay.
Yeah, Monty and Kyron Williams or Eckler and Garrett Wilson.
Eckler and Garrett Wilson, bro. I don't know. G. Willie and Eckler for Kyron man. This is tough because like Kyron, we think he could play week 12. He should play week 12. You never know, but this is a very safe side of this trade. Garrett Wilson is still very volatile. And while I still love Eckler, especially at the cost of entry, weeks ago when I was mainly pushing to get him, I don't think there's anything wrong with his value at all, especially at what you paid. But like at the end of the day, I will say this Monty Kyron side feels a little bit safer. I think Monty's very safe. I like Eckler a lot, but I think Kyron, he was playing as a top 5 running back all season long. So I don't know. I'm a little torn on this one. I don't think it's the chat seems to think it's a smash. I don't know that it's as big of a smash. I like both sides a lot, but this side is probably safer. This side has, I would say, the Eckler side has more upside, more risk, but definitely more upside. So if you need a swing, I guess I would go Eckler. If you need safety, I mean, Kyren and Monty should be pretty damn safe. That Garrett Wilson share is very.
I'm number 1 in the league right now.
Yeah, if you're number 1 in the league, I mean. Yeah. IER says, you all told me to start Achane over Ridley, and I lost my game. ER, you got to take some responsibility for your own decisions and actions, my guy. Number 1, you cannot predict injury. You're acting like this is something that somebody should have seen coming. He goes out, somebody suplexes his knee. Like, come on, ER. Come on, bro. I would say, and what is this PPR, full PPR?
It's a half-point PPR. I've got Derrick Henry, who's been doing nothing. I've got Gibbs. I've got Keaton Mitchell on the bench. I've got Ty Chandler on the bench. So I've got some depth at running back. I've got Najee Harris, who's hit or miss. But, the whole idea was to upgrade that number 1 running back spot because you could only play so many, right? So that was the idea with Eckler. But after watching him yesterday, it's like, man, the guy looks slow. He looks slow.
Bro, I would say if it's half PPR, I'm still leaning with you being in first. I'm leaning this Monty Kyren side, especially being half PPR.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Kyren is absolute force if he's back. I don't know if he's back. He should be back, bro. He should be back. He should be back. We don't know for sure. We can't guarantee anything. But Monty's solid in half PPR and non-PPR. And if this was PPR, maybe there is more of a lean toward Eckler just on the upside of, like, the receptions and what he could bring to the table. But I'm going to go this side, bro. I don't know if the chat still agrees or still disagrees with the Monty Kyren lean that with the half PPR news.
You see Eckler improving maybe within
yeah,
the next few weeks.
I do, because I still like him, but is there risk? Absolutely. That's why he was a buy low. Injury prone, older, concern about usage. Look at the staff at the press conference, the post game press conference, getting all testy and upset. And like they're in shambles, they're in shambles. Yeah. They need to figure out how to use Eckler properly, or figure out a way to, it's crazy. But I just think safety wise, with Garrett Wilson's volatile quarterback situation, with how almost unusable Garrett Wilson either can be or how great he can be, he's one or the other. Like, I can tell you right now, I made a trade with somebody, a big monster trade in one of my expert leagues, and Garrett Wilson, I had such hesitancy putting him in the trade, and I traded him to the guy, and he just absolutely crushed him. like it was such a bad play. It's not his fault. We all want to start Garrett Wilson, but like there could be a time, like if Garrett Wilson goes out and gets you 1 point next week, 1 game later you'll be benching him. These guys, you're not benching Monty or Kyren. You might not bench Garrett Wilson. Hopefully you're not benching Garrett Wilson, but his situation is so dog water. Maybe it turns around. He's potentially benchable. I'm going to roll with Monty and Kyren. All right. Hey, I got to go, Tony. Appreciate you. Later, bro.
Thanks, Bree.
It's a tough one. I know the chat was a little divided. I think once it was made aware that it was half PPR, I think the chat started to lean a little bit. As for this question, I don't think I finished answering the whole thing. Need insurance for Kupp plus Adams bye week next to. I think I just didn't read the rest of it out loud, but I believe I would go Godwin. I feel like Godwin's got a. You know what? Go Reed. Actually, strike that. Reed looks really good. Go Reed, Tommy. I like Reed more. It is what it is. We can keep using big names all we want, or we could say put our balls on the table and go Jaylen Reed. He looks absolutely phenomenal. Jaden Reed. Mahomes owner sat him for Dobbs. Oof, bro. I know it's been trying to get rid of him, but he wants my Tua and Gibbs. I have Tua. Yeah, I mean, if you got Gibbs and Tua, you don't necessarily need Mahomes. I know it's nice, but you can't give that up. You can't. Maybe Ridley for Mahomes right now. But even so, like Tua, I love Tua. Ramondre and Rice, let's say Rice has a big day. Swift and Rice, if Swift has a big day and Mahomes doesn't, it's a tough defense. So maybe Mahomes struggles again. You know, maybe this guy does make the right choice. I definitely would never sit Patrick Mahomes. CMC for Kamara and Kupp. With Kupp's situation, I'd rather have CMC, Brian, but it's arguable. It's not crazy. You're not crazy to make that move. But I certainly would rather have CMC versus the questions, bro. I'm not even going near. I don't want to go near Kupp or JJ right now if I need wins at all. If I need wins, why am I going to do that? Wilson can't throw those sidearm passes. How in the bleep is he the number one quarterback? Well, he's not anymore, Derek, so that's over now. Singletary and Waddle, Sebastian. I know you're asking the chat, not me, but I'll weigh in if that's okay. Singletary and Waddle, I would look. You're not going to get him very easily, but maybe you add even something else in and you go get Stephon Diggs right now. He's playing bad, and his owner might absolutely just give him away right now. Devontae Adams might be good in that situation. Yeah, picks. Go ahead and call in. Travis Rowe, you're live. What can I do for you, Travis?
Hey, Smitty. Just a quick trade possibility. I would be trading Charbonnet, Kincaid, and Kupp, and I'd get back Gibbs, Flowers, and McBride. I think Flowers could be good with Andrews hurt and Odell hurt too.
Yeah. Sharps, Kincaid, and Kupp. I mean, I smashed the hell out of it. As much as I love Kincaid, as much as I love Kincaid, Kupp is injured. Gibbs is better than Kupp by a lot. Okay, so you win there.
Right.
Flowers and Sharps. Look, we like Sharps, but like you just said, Flowers is going to be used quite a bit going forward. One could argue even Charbonnet starting by himself against a very tough rushing schedule going forward equals Flowers, maybe. Maybe not, but maybe. So, like, that's like arguable.
Right.
So it comes down to Kincaid, McBride. Of course I want Kincaid, but McBride's arguably close, and that Gibbs difference from an injured Cooper Kupp just makes it a home run.
All right. And what if he wouldn't do Gibbs? Would you take Javonte, or does that change it too much for you?
It's a whole different, that's like asking me, do I want to go to the Barbie movie or to like Terminator 9?
Right.
Like, what if we changed it out for Barbie? Are we still going to the movies? No.
I'm just weighing my options.
I like Javonte, but we just saw what Sean Payton can do to him. Just limit him. It's like right. Javonte looks so fantastic, right. and we did fear it walking into Week 11. A lot of Javonte questions got thrown our way, and it was like, God, I want to say like absolutely yes, but I also want to be a little cautious, and just say like we don't. I mean, as good as he looked, and he's coming on strong. It's just like they just know how to destroy the value. Let's just take him out. Let's use 3 backs. Pirine, throw Pirine in. Throw Pirine in. Throw in McLaughlin. Throw Pirine back in. Okay, now we'll go back to Javonte. It's just like son of a bee, bro.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Let me get this question real quick. Hold on one second. Smitty, I meant who would you drop for Ritter or DeVito? Oh. I mean, bro, like the reason I thought I don't think it's the test asked this question, but the reason I didn't think the question was the way that it's worded now is because why on earth would you mention drop Warren? So there's no way that I thought that was what we were doing. I thought we were trying to pick up one of those guys. And because why is Warren in this conversation? Like Warren should not be in this conversation. I know this isn't the test question, But goodness gracious, bro, why are we talking about dropping Warren? He's just getting going. We'll have to see what happens with Rice. If Rice doesn't do anything tonight or he's mediocre, you drop Rice because the volume needs to be there. He might see his uptick in volume tonight. He is one of the better wide receivers in the National Football Leagues in targets per route run, but his routes run are low. So it's like he's doing amazing with what he's given, but he's not being given a lot. So if he doesn't do well tonight, then I probably drop Rice. If he does well, I probably drop JSN. But you need to get Warren's name out of your mouth. Keep Warren's name out of your drop conversation. Appreciate you. All right. Sorry, Travis.
No. Last thing I was just gonna say, if I know he likes JSN, if I had to put JSN in that deal to get it done, would you?
Yes.
Or you think I'm giving up too much at that point?
Let me ask you a question. Look at this right here. I'm writing something on the screen. I don't know how long it's going to take you to see it, but I'm going to write it on the screen, and I'm going to underline it a couple times.
I can't see it right now.
Okay, I'll spell it. It's Gibbs. How does that make you feel?
Gibbs.
How does that make you feel?
Yeah. All right.
Do it live.
Gotcha.
JSN. I love him, but right. Throw him in. Do it live. Game just kicked off. Yeah. Mike. Yeah, appreciate you, man. Later. Later. Travis to the moon. Appreciate you. Michael. The game just kicked off, bro. I don't think you're gonna be able to pull this off. Trade CMC for AJ Brown and Debo. I'm not doing that anyway. I'm keeping CMC. Why are we selling CMC that cheap? Let's go over to picks. Picks, you're live.
Hey man, the game just kicked off, so I'll call back if you do something later.
No, go ahead.
I'm sure you want to watch.
Go ahead and hit me real quick.
Sure
yeah, go ahead.
It'll be a minute.
Well, make it as quick as you can.
Well, I wanted to share about my thoughts on Achane and Sharp.
Okay.
With the Achane is with the haters. I honestly don't think he's very good, but
come on, picks.
The Dolphins. Hey, hear me out first before you roast me, okay?
All right, go ahead.
In that offense, you can't load the box with Tyreek Hill on that offense, so that allows any running back on the Dolphins to succeed, no matter who it is. And then if you decide to load the box, then Tyreek Hill's just going to pop off. So on that offense, I do think Achane is good. As a player, I don't think he's good. But on that specific offense, I think he's very good. That is my take on Achane.
Okay, let's address one player at a time. So as far as the Achane take, no offense, bro, picks, but that's a very, very bland, one-dimensional take. Because you could say that about a lot of players. You could come in and say Arian Foster, Priest Holmes, LaDainian Tomlinson, like go through running backs that were in good systems and start dismantling their value and that you can't separate from their situation. You just can't. You can't separate a player from their situation. And I think you're doing that in that comment. It's not like you can even test out the theory. Number two, these other running backs aren't doing what he's doing, bro. They're not doing what he's doing at all. He was a very good prospect. Unbelievable prospect coming into the National Football League. A lot of people said he had a size issue. They were concerned about it, and a lot of those haters that kept riding that wave, doubling down on that, are trying to use that right now because he's got two injuries. Really the same knee that he got suplexed in this last game that it would have happened to you, it would have happened to me, it would have happened to anybody. So I don't even consider him injury prone. He had one injury, and he tried to rush back a little bit, and he got suplexed. He's leading the National Football League in 40-yard and 20-yard plus runs. And not to mention, picks, when I use my eyeballs, bro, he's one of the best elusive running backs in the National Football League. I don't care what Tyreek Hill is doing or not doing for that offense. And why is the offense not producing those kind of rushing stats with him out? Why? If they're so great, why are they not doing it? Just watch, bro.
I do think
just watch.
Are a little with an outlier because of that Denver game, where almost 3/4 of those stats you listed are from that one game. All those other ones, he's been good. But that one Denver game, really you can say, oh yeah, he's number one in this, number one in that. You take away that game.
You can't do
one
that.
Denver game.
You can't take away You can't take away players' games. It doesn't. We'd have to play that game with everybody, man. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You know, and not to mention, bro. You can take away all my ammunition for stats, and just say, you know what? Let's pretend none of those stats you can even reference them. Let's pretend like it's garbage, bro. Let's pretend like that's all thrown out the window. I'm telling you, and you can disagree with me, but you can't take this part away, and I can't take it away from you either. Just let me make that clear. If you don't see it, I can't take that away from you either. But you can't take away from the fact that from my eyes, my vantage point, I see an electric, elite, top 5 running back in the National Football League, and that part has nothing to do with the numbers. But look at these numbers. You say everything came in that game, bro. He had 203 yards and 2 touchdowns in the Denver game. He had 101 yards and 2 touchdowns in the Buffalo Bill game against the Buffalo Bills. And then he had 151 and a touchdown in the very next game. He only had the 3 games. You're saying he got like a third of the production or more? That's because he only had 3 games. Of course he got a third of his production in the Denver game because he played 3 games. like you know what I mean? You're manipulating the numbers. Most of his stats came in the Denver game. Of course it did. Look at it. It's on the screen. It's 203 and 2, 101 and 2, 151 and 1. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. I'm not disagreeing with you there. I'm just saying a lot of that has to do with Tyreek Hill being on the team. I'm not saying he's bad, or I think he's decent.
And let me just also say, because I'm totally not being fair with this Denver game, because he did have this receiving production as well. Let me throw this over on screen. His receiving production was through the roof too. but like you look at his running stats. I'm
not trying to disagree with you.
Well, I mean, in a way,
I'm trying to put another thought into the reason why people are hating on him, and this is why they shouldn't hate on him.
Well, he's got 7 touchdowns in 3 games. He's got 7 touchdowns in 3 freaking games. He's averaging 11.28, 12.63, and 13.73 yards per carry in 3 straight games. He did it all against Denver. Look what he did against the Buffalo Bills, 12.63 yards per carry. And, you know, Buffalo Bills, because of that, are ranked as an okay rushing defense. Partly because of that big run. But look, I understand your points, and it's okay to disagree. You're not being disrespectful about it, so I'm okay with you having this take. I want you to know that, and you've been very respectful about it. There are some people that come in and start saying, "Holy crap! Like, told you, he's garbage, he's trash, he belongs in the toilet, he's an absolute bust, and all you guys are wrong, and he's never going to play well again." It's a lot of disrespectful regret for not seeing him coming and feeling foolish for not seeing him coming. And maybe I'm wrong on this, maybe you're going to set me in my place here in this conversation, because I don't feel like you set me in my place yet. Do you own him in any leagues?
I do. I own him in 2.
Because I'm surprised at that. Because most people that hate on him own him in 0 leagues, and they're just bitter.
I'm not hating on him.
Well, I mean, he's okay, he's not that good is I think what you said. What was the words you used? Not that good.
Yeah,
that's hate. That's kind of hating on him, bro. Not that good, bro. Bro's averaging 11, 12, and 13 carries per game. Not to mention, you know what's great about these stats that everybody seems to be so up in arms about? Look at the snap percentage. In week 3, 40. Let me get something to highlight this with so everybody can follow along. So in week number 3, 41% snap share. Week number 4, 60% snap share, and then week number 5 to 48. But you know, it's nice to see that increasing. He was running back 1 in week 3. He's running back 5 in week 4. He's running back 4 in week 5. Like, he was a top 5 running back all of the 3 weeks that he's played football. And one could say, this is an argument, one could say, hey, Smitty, that's only a 3-game sample. I need to see more. And you know what I'd say to that? That's fine. That's fine. And you're going to miss out on him if you got that approach. You know, you're not willing to risk it for the biscuit. But I could understand it. It's the hatred and the almost excitement that he's injured is ridiculous. See, I knew he's going to get hurt. He's garbage, blah, blah, blah. I just feel like I feel like that's unwarranted for a guy that has been doing so amazing.
I'm just saying a lot of his success is tied with Tyreek Hill, with how they cannot load the box, so it allows running backs to do very well.
But again, I look, you could say that all you want. I don't think you have ability to prove. I have no ability to disprove what you're saying, but you look at Pacheco ripping one off. You have no ability to prove that. No ability to prove that. I'm not saying he'd average 11 and 12 and 13 yards per carry, but he might average 8. You know, like I get that Tyreek Hill helps, but you can't separate it. And who's to say Christian McCaffrey would be even close to the Christian McCaffrey he's playing like this year without the Niner offense? You know, so I mean, like, you just can't play that game in fantasy. It doesn't make any sense to be like, he's not good, but he's good. He's looking like he's good. He's perceived to be good. In fantasy, we'll never know because he's going to play in Miami, and he's always going to do well in Miami. So we'll never be able to test this out. I don't think he's good if we could dilute it all and separate the particles. Anyway, what's your take on the next player? Who was it? Charbonnet?
Charbonnet. So, I like him as well. I did say he had a tough schedule, and it's hard. And I think if Walker would have played and kept playing, he definitely would have just been decent as well. I'm going to say that. But now with Walker gone, and even with this tough schedule, you got to look at volume. When Walker left, what was it, the second quarter, or maybe the middle of the second quarter, he had 21 attempts in half a game. And in fantasy, attempts is the most important thing in the game. And so if he's getting 21 attempts in half a game, I don't care if he plays San Francisco next week, he catches 7 balls, he's already going to be, a top 20 running back with just catching those 7 balls.
Who you talking about now? Are you talking about Charbonnet or Walker? Are you talking about Charbonnet now?
Charbonnet.
Yeah.
Charbonnet. I'm defending that he will be good even with a really shitty schedule because of volume.
Well,
volume.
No one's,
and now that volume's gone up.
Yeah, no one here is doubting Charbonnet. It's just we got to consider the tough schedule is going to make it a slightly tougher climb. It's for sure 100% going to make it tougher. Doesn't mean he's not great. We're going to be hitting the Charbonnet button, putting him on our lineups, getting excited, and he has a tough schedule. So I agree with you. He's still very startable. He's kind of, if he's by himself, he's in a way somewhat matchup proof. They did get their other RB involved. He certainly will get some touches, but Abanikanda. But I think that, Charbonnet's the guy. We're about to see the player that we wanted as a community to be in a lineup somewhere by his lonesome so he could become a top 5 to 10 running back in his own right, and he landed in Seattle behind one of our other community favorite running backs. And so we've been in this situation where we're like perplexed. We want to root for Charbonnet. We love Charbonnet. He had top 10 running back upside before the NFL draft took place, and then we couldn't root for both of them. It's like it's like you could only use one side of the coin, So now, unfortunately, Walker, I hope Walker, if he's banged up, actually sits out to get fully healthy so that Sharps can have 1, 2, 3 weeks to just rip it off.
I think he will too.
And then real quick,
I think he's a better pass catching back than Walker.
And real quickly, I don't necessarily feel like that is accurate in terms of skill set, but will they throw to him more? Yes. I think they will. I think they believe he's more ready-made for catching, but I believe Walker could be one of the top 3 pass-catching backs in the National Football League because of his ability to navigate open space. His hands are fine. It's just a matter of they haven't used him as much, and they want to use him between the tackles. But real quickly, neither here nor there. Let me get to this other point, and then I'm going to let you go. You said something earlier. I just want to clarify. You kept saying in the chat over and over, like, look at Warren's schedule. It's nasty. Look at it. It's insane. You mean in a good way, right?
Yes.
Okay,
very good
because
way.
the way you
Very
kept
good
saying
way.
it was almost as if it was the negative way, and I'm like, have you looked at his schedule? But you were meaning it in a pot. Okay, because his schedule's
Yeah,
phenomenal.
it's hard to read the tone of my voice in chat. We've already had this issue
Yeah, a
a
little
week
bit.
ago or so, but yes, it is very, very good and a sneaky league winner in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, bro. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
All right.
Enjoy the game.
All right, picks to the moon. I'm never mad at you, by the way. I just want you to know that. Like, some people
Oh,
think
I
I
understand
get
that,
all
dude.
upset.
I
It's like, look,
understand
my resting face looks like I'm upset. I'm never upset. I end the live stream, and if someone were to send me an email and say, Smitty, it's picks. Remember you yelled at me? I'm like, what's up, pal? Like, I'm not. This is my resting face. I'm worked up. I'm emotional. I'm a passionate fantasy football analyst when I'm on camera, and we're doing it live. All right, picks to the moon.
Yep, and that's why you have one of the best fantasy shows, you know. So.
Thank you, Picks. Appreciate you. Later, bro.
Yep.
All right, let's take this one call here. 530 caller. Who are you and where are you calling from? What's your name?
Payne. I'm calling you from California.
Michael from Cali. What's up, my guy? A lot of Cali callers today. Michael Payne. What can I do for you, Michael? Appreciate you, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, I got a trade going on right now. The guy hasn't confirmed it yet, but I'm going to be trading Charbonnet. I'm going to be trading Fields and Kirk for Puka.
And who's your quarterback if you do this?
Josh Allen.
Yeah, I mean, look, with Kupp injured, and we don't know how Kupp could be out no games, but he could also be out 2 or 3 or 4 games. We have no idea. Pacheco running good. That was a good call when we were on the phone discussing the over. Puka, I would take Puka personally. But you know, there's pros and cons to this, but I think you don't really get to see the pros of the other side as much as you do on the Puka side, just because you're using Josh Allen, and you don't want to be feeling threatened to put Allen on the bench or anything anyway. But Sharps is a nice play. Maybe he's only used for 2 weeks, though. Fields, you don't want to use him. You got Josh Allen. Kirk, you're going to waiver to start him any week anyway. How many times are you locking Kirk in? Probably not a lot lately, right? You're probably wavering. Do I start Kirk? Do I not start Kirk? Oh, look at this touchdown throw. Mahomes just nobody around Watson whatsoever. Watson was by himself. It looked like he looked like the groundskeeper in the background, just standing there, maybe watching the game. He's just sitting there by himself in the back of the end zone. I didn't even know he was in bounds. He didn't even look like a part of the play. Puka, do it live. Puka.
Real quick.
Yeah.
If he hasn't done the trade yet, if he decides not to, he's going to do it tomorrow. He says that another trade that he wanted to do was for Puka, he wanted Brees Hall, Kirk, and Fields. Is that still a good trade?
No, I'd rather give up Charbonnet. Because Charbonnet he doesn't have a guaranteed amount of time. You know, whereas Brees, hell no.
Yeah. I got a pretty good team. I'm 8-2 right now, so I'm trying to get myself ready for the playoffs.
Yeah.
And so my bench and everything is still pretty good. I didn't know if that was still too much.
Yeah, I don't want to give up Hall, especially when you've already trained my mind to think you're doing this other trade.
Right. I'm just worried that he's going to wake up in the morning and be like, you know what, never mind, I don't. But he
probably will.
Burrow, so I'm thinking, you know, he's got to do something. He's only got like 5 wins.
You could say, hey, I'm about, like, this might send him in the other direction, but if you're trusting your gut anyway, and you think he's going to flip anyway, just send him a message and go, hey, bro, real quick, I kind of like, this is how you do it too. You don't make someone push you to your bluff or call your bluff, but just say, hey, man, I kind of like our deal a little bit better, but I'm about to send Fields to someone else. You want to do this real quick? Because I actually like our deal just a tiny bit better. What are you doing? I'm not going to tell you that, but I need to make this trade now because, you know, I don't know what's, like, if you're not doing it tonight anyway, I'm just going to take his because I don't know if you're really going to do it tomorrow. So do you want it or not? And then that might trigger him to do it. And then call me after the show and let me know if it worked.
All right,
later, bro. Just be calm about it. Don't be threatening about it. Just be like, hey, bro, just to let you know, I would like to do our deal, but I'm probably going to hit this other one. He might go, then do it,
All right.
then do it. But then if he says that, he was probably going to back out tomorrow anyway.
Gotcha.
All right, later, bro.
Right.
All right, guys. I'll see you after the game. We'll do a recap of the game. Appreciate you all. We got one more super chat that's been lingering here by Jaime. Jaime says $5 holler. Aaron Jones, Kenneth Walker, Debo, Diggs, Andrews, 25.5 total in full PPR. And my opponent left has Mahomes on the bench. T-Law, 32 points. Well, yeah. Joke's on you, I guess, right? He put Mahomes on the bench, but he's got T-Law in there. Well, I mean, look, this guy either is asleep at the wheel or he got a hold of the Law Dog milk the night before. He tore into a bottle and he said, this tastes good again. I'm putting Law Dog out there over Mahomes. And he did it live and he hit a home run. 4 straight losses, now 6-5. Pray for me. That's horrible luck, bro. Dude leaves Law Dog in, who we like. You know, the milk goes from expired, turns into glorious, revamped milk overnight. And maybe Mahomes matches him, but man, Law Dog. Prayers up to you, bro. You got this, Jaime. Don't feel like you can't get it. You got this, bro. I'll see you all after the show for a little recap sesh. Appreciate you all. Thanks, Smitty. Everyone punched that like button on the way out the door, says Travis, thank you for moderating. Thanks to all my mods in here. I don't know if Blackbeard's in here. I don't know who's in Sick Nasty, whether Vampy's in here, any of my mod crew. Appreciate you all. See you after the show. Deuces. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Live whenever news breaks, live after games. So that means we'll be live after this game. See you all there. That guy had to douse himself in Law Dog milk right before. Probably poured it all over. Devonta Smith, baby. Devonta Smith. Nice catch. Nice catch. Nice catch, pal. AJ Brown says, I'm hungry too. I'm hungry too. Throw it to me. AJ Brown is such a big monster, bro. He looks like a DK Metcalf out there. Obviously a lot shorter. Swift being a little elusive. Looks pretty fresh. Swift, who's been low yards per carry, feeling like he's tailing off. Very, very hopeful that he hits some sort of, breaks through the similar to a rookie wall that he's facing, given how much work he's been taking on as a first-time starter in the National Football League. That's definitely a lot of how that goes. Hurts. I'm sorry. I came back because we're like the Marvel movies. You can never really leave. Hurts back to snap in the gun, runs for about first down, about 10 yards. Looked great there. I'm just waiting on this drive. Actually, if I leave now, that means Hurts will score. That's traditionally how it works on these live streams. Hurts in the gun. All right. I'll see you all later. Appreciate you.